the eye, was following the eye, was following the pack, all swallowed in their coats, with scarves of red tied round their throats, to keep their little heads from falling in the snow. And I turned round and there you go, and Michael, you would fall and turn the white snow red as strawberries in the sun.
Hello, and welcome to the Pathifist podcast, the podcast for The Path on Hulu. It is Tuesday, about 24 hours before the premiere of The Path on Hulu, and I'm Andy Bunny, and I'd like to welcome my co-host for this podcast. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Jenny, also known as Hermia Mora.
And we're going to just do a little pregame here and talk about how excited we are about tomorrow's premiere and discuss our thoughts on the trailers that we have seen so far. Talk about some of the thoughts that we have about what we expect with the show and some of the actors' work.
That's right. We have three stellar lead actors. Aaron Paul, of course, from Breaking Bad, Hugh Dancy from Hannibal, and Michelle Monaghan from True Detective, all fantastic shows the last few years.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be an amazing cast all around for sure, with very, very talented actors and also a great showrunner as well, with a wonderful resume under her belt too. So
looking forward to this.
Yeah. I mean, we just both were able to see the first 3 minutes of the first episode, and it looked very exciting. 3 minutes was definitely not enough, and it's hard to believe that in less than 24 hours we're going to get 2 whole hours, 2 episodes worth of this show, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, I like that they're doing that. It kind of gives a better feel than just the pilot. You know, just here's the pilot, now you have to wait a week.
Yeah, I like that. So what did you think about the first 3 minutes that you saw?
It was just a whirlwind of pain and drama. I can really see how this group, the Myers movement, is able to sweep in and make these people feel like they have to join up because they're dying.
I'm really curious about their involvement because, first of all, I don't know what your thoughts were about the type of disaster that happened. It kind of looks like a tornado to me.
I think that's what the reviews I read said. It was a tornado.
Yeah, which is unusual but not unheard of for upstate New York. And it's set in and shot in Nyack, New York. I think we talked about offline. And I'm curious about the involvement of the group because it looks like they might be first responders, and normally the Red Cross is the first group that's on the scene for a disaster like this, but them being first on the scene is kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, people are just waking up, and that makes me believe that obviously the Red Cross wasn't acting quickly enough. You know, it must have just happened, and it almost seems like the Myerists were prepared, like they planned on having the opportunity.
Definitely.
So when this terrible thing happens, we're gonna get in there, and we're gonna, I'm already very skeptical of their intentions.
I agree.
But
it seems very opportunistic to me.
Exactly, and Hugh Dancy, fantastic, just comes in there with this charisma, and he's just like, I am gonna be a hero, and he's just telling everyone what to do, and he's putting his hands on people, and he's has this look on his face of being the savior.
He kind of has this Superman swagger when he gets out of that van. It's just like, and just this swagger and this presence, and it's like just reassurance and power, and everything's gonna be all right. I'm gonna take care of your baby. We're gonna find your wife, and it's just that's
Yes.
exactly what people need when they're in that vulnerable state. And it seems as though he's searching these people out and, right there to swoop in and be their savior.
Hmm.
What better opportunity than immediately after a disaster like this? So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, imagine you're so thirsty that she drinks windshield wiper fluid,
I know, something
something like
blue.
that.
Yeah,
Almost drinks draining sewage.
yeah,
Uh, People are just broken on the ground, and
mm-hmm,
imagine how that would feel.
mm-hmm,
Like you might die, and
mm-hmm.
suddenly this
Yes,
handsome savior comes rushing in with his
yes,
water, and just yeah, I could definitely see why people would get in that van
yes.
and be emotionally captive.
I read something that was very interesting to me and not a surprise at all about when they were filming, I think in Brooklyn, a scene of one of their offices. They had set up a little Myrist office window front, and they had the crew had made little pamphlets and illustrations and stuff that they had hanging in the windows while they were filming. And I guess it wasn't, to some people, just random passerbys walking by, it wasn't obvious that it was a film set at first. And people at the end of the day were walking in expressing interest about joining the movement.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
and then the people, the crew is just like, no, no, we're filming here. This is just a show. And Hugh Dancy thought that was just so, fascinating and compelling, and not
right.
at all, and not really surprising though, because people are searching for answers and searching for something. Even in today's world, this is so timely, um,
Uh-huh.
such a timely topic,
Yeah,
because people are looking for reassurance, and they're looking for, where ever the world is in such chaos. We've got bombings, we've got hate, we've got just chaos in every direction, and to find someone that seems like a bastion of security and peace and solace and strength
yeah.
would be something that we would all crave.
Hmm. And speaking of timely, a lot of people, either before having seen the series and some after having seen the first few episodes, are comparing it to Scientology,
Hmm.
which is a little inevitable because it's a brand new movement religion
Hmm.
that's basically invented by one person,
Hmm.
and that's pretty rare most of the time.
Yep.
When we're talking about religion, we're talking about something ancient,
Hmm.
and so whenever somebody mentions cults and kind of a grassroots religion, there's an inevitable comparison to Scientology, but
Hmm.
there's more than just that it's new and that it's kind of a private individual's vision.
Hmm.
We also see that apparently the Myers movement has kind of an es- an ascension ladder, like everyone has different ranks,
Hmm.
and they ascend up these ranks by being righteous and pure and following
Hmm.
the path. And it's just kind of seems like a competition, a competition between members. But
Hmm.
that's very Scientology thing. Also, people who are outside of the Myers movement are called ignorant systemites,
Hmm.
which is really similar to the Scientology idea of the suppressive person. And I remember reading about Nicole Kidman,
Yeah.
and basically she can't see her kids anymore because this Scientology community has decided that she is a suppressive person, and her
Hmm.
kids hate her now because they've told their kids that she is a suppressive person.
Hmm.
And it's just so tragic, but there's something going on in the Myers movement where anybody on the outside this ignorant system. But that's not just Scientology. I know, like the Westboro Baptist Church is very isolationist, and the kids who go to school, just like Kyle Allen's character, a Hawk, has to keep going to school even though he doesn't engage in pop culture. He's weird. He's kind of like a homeschool kid, but he keeps going to school. It's a lot like the Westboro Baptist Church. These kids go to school and they don't really have friends, and they don't really talk to people, and it's really pretty sad.
Yeah, and in some churches they do homeschool their kids, and that isolates them even further. So yeah, they also another comparison you might draw would be, we see a scene in one of the trailers. We see a scene with Sarah Lane, where she's actually got she's attached to a meter, and it looks a lot like the e-meters that they use in Scientology. And there seems to be the theme that they talked about in one of their interviews of the unburdening. And in Scientology, they practice doing this auditing where you're clearing away, negative energy, negative emotions that are blocking you from ascending, basically. And it's a very similar type of thing, but I think that even if you separate it from that, take the comparisons away, I think that that's something that is a lot of people, it's appealing to a lot of people.
Right.
Even in New Age religions, just regular New Age religions, people I think realize that negativity holds them back, and they want to release negativity to move forward. And so that's not a totally off the wall concept that someone could accept.
Right. And the ranking system is really pretty brilliant in religions that want to indoctrinate their followers to feel a codependency, because it's the effort reward system, which basically there are neurological reasons why this works on people.
Oh yeah.
I've actually it reminds me of articles I've read about addictive gaming. Things like World of Warcraft, or more recently Stardew Valley is very popular, and people say it's just insanely addictive.
Candy Crush, even.
Yeah, Candy Crush, and all these games that are extremely addictive, and people don't understand, why can't I put this down? Games that require grinding, like World of Warcraft does, and Stardew Valley requires a lot of tedious, mundane, repetitious work. But you get this reward. It keeps feeding you the reward. And it basically affects the chemicals in our brain.
Yeah.
And it makes us feel satisfied. So when you have something where it's like you have to do this, you grind away, and then you ascend.
Right.
That makes people feel addicted, and it works. It works very well. We see it work very well in real life.
People that are narcissists and manipulators use the same techniques in getting people to comply with them and getting people dependent upon them.
Yes. It's very emotionally abusive. Yeah. So, speaking of religion, I read a great interview with Hugh Dancy, and he was saying that basically a cult is a matter of perspective.
Right.
And he said it is totally in the eye of the beholder. Let's see if I can just look over this again. Anything can be a cult, and certainly any religion, big or small, started out that way, being on the outside, stigmatized, feared. The ones that survived stopped being cults. And he is absolutely right, historically right, because the same could be said about any religion for which we actually know the origins. I mean, they're so there are some religions, such as Hinduism, that are so ancient we don't know how it began. But for example, during the Greco-Roman Empire, um, there was an official, government official named Theophilus, and he was trying to gain information on a fringe cult that was rising up. It was a Jewish cult that would later come to be called Christianity. And so he actually sent informants. And one of them was named Luke, of the book of Luke. And that is what that book is. He says, "For you, excellent Theophilus, I have thoroughly investigated and compiled a detailed report of what this cult is all about." And it appears, if you read the Gospel of Luke, which is one of my favorite Gospels, it's a great read, that Luke eventually felt himself drawn into it. In places he seems to be expressing his own opinion, and perhaps eventually found himself wanting to convert to Christianity. A lot of people argue that. It's hard to say because it's ancient, but that when I heard about the character played by Rockman Dunbar, Abe Gaines, he is a investigator,
Right.
and Dunbar revealed that his character does kind of get sucked in by Cal and all the promises of this movement. And I was thinking, oh, it's St. Luke.
Very interesting. I like that comparison quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm really sort of curious too about the founder, the way that the dynamic between the fact that the founder is working on the last three rungs, and he's kind of got Cal leading the group in the meantime, while he works on those final three rungs. It's just very
I heard something. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but I heard that one of the things that happens to Aaron Paul's character, Eddie Lane, is that he has a vision, a drug-induced vision.
Right.
Not meth. It was,
I read this as well, yeah.
It was, how do you say it? Ayahuasca. Ayahuasca. I'm messing it up.
Yes.
But,
yeah.
He has this vision, and he sees Dr. Meyer, the founder, lying in a bed, unconscious, and being crawled over by a snake. And I think that is meant to indicate that he is not of sound body and mind. He is not capable of giving anyone orders or delegating any power to people because he is unconscious. And Cal
is actually
is going in and saying, "Oh, he said this, and I just spoke to him privately, and he said that I'm doing a great job," and just kind of, and that makes me think, well, then what's the snake? This snake.
Yes.
Crawling over Dr. Meyer, that seems like.
So do you think that it's a spiritual thing where Cal is actually the snake?
Yeah, a
metaphysical transformation. That's kind of interesting.
That
I like that.
The snake is a symbol of the snake in their midst, who is tricking everyone into thinking that he is a prophet, when actually he's just ambitious.
Or the snake could also be, just thinking outside the box here, maybe Cal's familiar. Which is kind of funny because Hugh Dancy is terrified of snakes.
Oh yes, I know. He is afraid of snakes. Yeah. But of course, I don't think this show is meant to be supernatural, but
No.
if Eddie is having a vision that is actually true,
It could be symbolic, yeah.
Either one, there is something supernatural, or two, it's something that he kind of already suspected and was in his subconscious.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. But we'll have to see the actual show and find out if we're right about that.
Yeah, I'm just so excited. The subject matter is just right up my alley. I think it's there's a lot of people that are going to be really going to enjoy this show.
Absolutely. So, now you haven't seen Breaking Bad or True Detective.
I've seen some episodes of Breaking Bad, but not the whole series. Yeah.
Okay. I am curious to see how Aaron Paul's character is different from Jesse Pinkman. Jesse Pinkman was a rather emotionally shaken person. He cried a lot, and he
cried a lot in the show in Breaking Bad?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. He was really under the power of Walter White a lot. You could even say it was a meth cult.
Right.
But I'm wondering in this series, how he's different, if he's less of a victim. Sorry.
I think that if we've seen him in the trailers, questioning Cal, it's kind of interesting to me because that is a pretty bold maneuver if he is so vulnerable and weak. And I'm wondering, as I think everyone is, how far is he willing to take that?
And what are his feelings toward Cal? Because in some images, Cal is putting his hands on him and making intense eye contact with him. And I don't know if it's some kind of mentor protege thing or...
Well, yeah, and I'm also wondering, there's obviously some sort of power element involved. I'm curious to find out what sort of power Cal has over Eddie to be able to manipulate him.
Yeah.
I think that the most important thing in Eddie's life seems to be his family. And so, what is it that Cal has on him that would jeopardize that?
Well, Cal
I wonder.
Also has a relationship with Sarah Lane, which is Michelle Monaghan's character. Apparently, they used to be lovers.
Yes.
Possibly going to become married, but she chose Eddie instead, and of course, that's going to be awkward.
Right.
But I don't know. I see her in the audience, listening to Cal speak, and the look on her face is just
adoration and worship and
complete
awe.
Adoration. Yes. So maybe she's thinking,
yeah,
if I could do it over.
Oh yes, yes.
But we're biased toward Hugh Dancy.
It's hard not to look at him with adoration and awe and worship.
Exactly.
Yes, I love the shots of the audience where everyone has their hands raised and are looking at him like he's an angel.
He's a devil. So a little bit about Michelle Monaghan. She was in True Detective.
Yeah.
And she played Maggie Hart.
Okay.
Which was one of the two leads. his wife. Now, I'm going to be honest, I didn't care for that character. It wasn't her fault. I think she's lovely, Michelle. But I would like to see, in this series, I would like to see her play someone who I think is more relatable, more understandable.
Well, she described herself as a matriarch of the group, and
Yes.
that she's got quite the leadership role, in a mothering type of way. And she's quite the ardent supporter of the movement. And that is obviously going to be an element of tension between her and her husband as he tries to, or starts conveying to her his doubts. She was, as we say, she was related to the leader, or one of the leaders. She was born and raised into the movement.
Yeah.
So this is something that that's in her.
Well, we can't talk about the path. You and I are both hardcore fanimals. Can't talk about the path without mentioning Hannibal, apparently. If you're looking...
We really can't.
If you take a look at the interviews with Hugh Dancy, even the panels and the interviews where all three of the actors are there,
yep,
people keep asking about Hannibal.
And Hugh Dancy, I have to say, in every interview that he's done, is not, surprisingly, not at all annoyed with those questions. He is eager to talk about it, and eager to, even though he says the same thing over and over again. I want to do it. I want to do it. We have to do it. Let's do it. When are we going to do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
If I were him, I would be kind of like, we have to wait till 2017. Can we please move on? I had to do something with my time. So, gotta put food on the table, guys.
I got a potato baby to feed.
Exactly. Come on, people. I needed the work now. But seriously, but he's so excited. I mean, we saw that he took Bryan to the premiere of the show in Hollywood, and he is just, as we all are, just anxious for season 4. I think it can only benefit everyone and the show that we have a little bit of time between the seasons. It gives a little bit of breathing room for everyone, and everyone gets to have more experience, and there's no typecasting, and it's great for their careers. It's great for attention. I think that probably having season 3 on NBC, honestly, in all honesty, wasn't the greatest idea. Although grateful to NBC for giving us the platform, but I don't think it was the best home for us.
It was too niche for network. It should have been on something a bit more, maybe a streaming service. Is something that's a little bit more esoteric, I guess. But one thing I found very endearing that Mr. Dancy said was that Bryan Fuller had told him how it ends, how the entire series was meant to end. And when he was asked about it, he said that he did not want to say because spoilers. And that just shows his mindset, because if he was just blowing smoke, he could just talk about whatever. But I think he genuinely hopes, and maybe even a little bit believes, that the Hannibal's going to come back, and if he gives away how it was supposed to end, it would be a spoiler.
Yes.
So,
and Bryan Fuller himself has said, as long as he's alive, he will keep trying to continue Hannibal.
Yeah. Now, I would like to see more episodes of Mockingbird Lane, but that Hannibal first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to American Gods, Amazing Stories, the new Star Trek series. That is a busy
Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, it was Doctor Strange with Mads Mikkelsen and
Star Wars Rogue One.
Rogue One, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, everybody's got work, and I'm a firm believer in supporting them,
Oh
all of our
yes.
cast and crew, in every way that we can, because the more attention they get, it can only mean good things for Hannibal.
Yeah, I still follow them all on Twitter. I
Absolutely.
do miss seeing the wonderful tweets from Aaron Abrams about Hannibal, how
I
he
do
was
too.
always like,
Aaron's amazing. He's so
yeah.
funny. He really
I
is.
I follow the lovely Bumptious Miss B, Angelina
I
Burnett.
love her tweets too. Yeah,
Yes,
she's amazing.
she's great, and she actually has been giving me some advice on writing and linked me to the website that she works on, which is Women's Scribes, and she's everybody involved in Hannibal was just so good to the fans.
I agree. I agree.
Even when we could get a little obnoxious, I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that. You know,
They really,
fans
yeah, yeah.
fans can overdo it sometimes, but they were very loving to us, and
Yes.
I wish them all the success in the world, and I really hope the path um, is a huge success
Mm-hmm.
for Hugh Dancy and for Aaron Paul and Michelle Monaghan.
And I have to say, just I think it's because we've been with Hugh for so long that I
Hmm.
feel so much pride and excitement in my heart when, especially when I see Aaron and Michelle just gush and be
Gosh,
so, yeah, gush
how
over
fancy
him.
Daisy is.
Yes, gush over
Yeah.
him, and obviously they just adore him, and obviously he's easy to adore and love. But it just makes me feel so happy, like, seeing somebody, a family member, or
Right.
somebody one of your best friends or something, that's just getting accolades and getting adored, and you just can't help but feel warm all over, because
Yeah.
it's
Like, oh,
it's our
he's one
Hugh.
of ours. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's our Hugh, and
I'm so happy you guys love him, because we love him.
because we love him so much. Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. Especially, I was so excited to see Aaron Paul just love him so much. That was so cute.
Sucks you
Yeah.
in.
Yes.
His
I know. I
eyes.
mean, because Aaron Paul, he's got a pretty decent career behind
Oh
him,
yeah.
and pretty amazing. And he's a fanboy. I mean, really.
He seems so.
Seems like he really is. He's just like, oh, he had all his lines memorized. I never
Never
saw
has
him
a
with a script.
sides.
Yeah,
uh,
so that's pretty cool to see. It's just,
yeah.
I think that Hugh has worked for so long and so hard, and he's so talented.
Mhm.
I just want to see him recognized for his skill, and I just want people to acknowledge how talented he is.
Because he has been in some.
He's been in, yeah,
He's been in some shit.
been in some stinkers. Been in some
Yes.
stinkers. I want him,
Bad, bad movies.
but he's also had some amazing things too. Daniel Deronda, Elizabeth the
I
First,
love that. First. He was great in Deadline
Shooting
Ripley.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Yes,
Um.
he's
He's really
that
good.
Kavanaugh QC episode brought me to tears. Brought me to tears. His
That
speech at
was
the
like one of his
end,
first
and that
things.
was one of his first things. And even if, I mean, okay, yes, we can all acknowledge that he is beautiful and handsome, but he's so much more than that. Even if you weren't looking at him, just hearing his speech and the emotion that he conveys, the vulnerability he conveys
Mhm.
in every role that he's done is so mesmerizing. I mean, one of my male friends, one of my straight male friends, I got to watch Hannibal. He just finished season 2. He said about Hugh Dancy, this guy is the real deal. He's like, I saw Mizumono, and I couldn't believe it. He's just like, it
Right.
was, he's like, I was shouting at the end of the episode. He's like, I was shouting. And this is just a guy watching Hannibal, and he's just like, it was the most compelling performance.
It really was. And I could gush on about Mads Mikkelsen, but he is in no way related to the path, so we
Yes.
would be going
I mean, yeah,
If you're
no.
going off on a tangent there.
Don't want to go off topic, but Mads Mikkelsen is also, yes, tremendous.
Yes, yes, very talented.
And yeah, but I'm very anxious to see Hugh Dancy on the path. What I've seen of him so far as Cal Roberts is just, I'm so excited I can't even speak.
He just kind of vibrates with this energy. When I see him, there's this intensity to him that he has not given to other characters he's played. This is special for Cal.
It's a completely different transformation from Will Graham. It is not Will Graham 2.0. This is a different embodiment, and he transforms himself into a completely different person when he takes on another role. He's definitely not repeating himself, and this is an intense, powerful, charismatic, manipulative character. And they mentioned that he also shows a surprising vulnerability when talking about, things in his past, and I'm sure that he uses that to also compel and manipulate people.
Yes, and of course, Kathleen Turner playing his mother, Brenda
Can't wait
Roberts.
to see her. Oh my God.
Apparently, not a very nice woman. Not Kathleen Turner. I'm talking about Brenda Roberts.
Yes!
Not a very nice woman. Was possibly not very nice to Cal. So we're gonna find out, whether or not we should feel sorry for Cal.
Perhaps a mommy dearest.
Yes. But yeah. I'm looking forward to that. I'm interested in Abe Gaines, Rockland Dunbar, doing an investigation, and that might be a little bit. Oh, of course, it's about a cult. Got to have the FBI involved.
We've got him on a cult watch list.
We've
got him on a cult watch list.
Yes. And
what he didn't anticipate was
interested. I'm interested in seeing what happens with Abe if he is investigating, and he's initially very suspicious of them, but then ends up being sucked in. What does he know? Does he end up discovering, wow, I was totally right, these people are doing some nefarious things, but at this point I'm so in love with the movement that I don't care anymore? I kind of want to know what's going on with that.
I'm very curious. Curious. We see him in the very first trailer just kind of touching Cal's picture.
Well, I do that in my home. I think, that's just, wow. That's a face to...
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know he was on Sons of Anarchy. I guess he was on that show.
I never watched that show.
I haven't either, but yeah, so I'm curious to see how he gets involved. And God, they teased us so much with the trailers they revealed. I think The Path and Hulu have done just an outstanding job of advertising for this show.
Yes.
I mean, it's been incredible.
The way they use that Fleet Foxes song.
One of my favorite songs too.
I really liked that trailer because that song is so autumnal, I guess you could say, or maybe even Christmassy. It kind of, it feels like a very comforting lullaby song.
It's called White Winter Hymnal, by the way.
Yes, and it just seems like a nice, sweet song. And when we hear that chanting, like da, na, 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 and you see Eddie's family running up and hugging him, and oh yay, happy. Oh, this movement is full of peaceful, happy people. And as it goes on, the song kind of sneaks up on you. I know that Fleet Foxes has said it isn't supposed to mean anything,
But the lyrics are rather insidious.
The lyrics are very insidious and violent.
It goes perfectly with the show. It's I love the dichotomy of that the melody and the music is so pleasing and so comforting and, like you said, homey and warm, and then the words are like,
The words are
horrifying.
They're wearing red scarves around their throats to keep their heads from falling off.
Yeah, exactly.
And someone falls down in the snow and stains it red.
Yes.
It's like that
to
sounds
keep their
bad,
little heads
though,
from
Fleet
falling
Foxes.
in the snow. They turned around and there you go. You would fall and turn the white snow as red as strawberries in summertime. Blood.
It's violent. There's no way around that.
But strawberries in summertime, though. That's so nice.
Oh, strawberries. And, it's so sweet. Their little heads. It's cute,
their heads
right?
just popped off and they gushed blood everywhere. Wow. It's perfect. I mean, it is perfect. It is so perfect.
On the surface, this movement seems very nice, but below you've got in the trailers and teasers, we see looks like Cal smashing someone's head into a microwave, and his hands covered with blood and shaking,
and then he's punching someone into a couch.
And and then we see
and he's
Eddie
got a shovel in his hand.
Yeah, Eddie, he's like
digging a grave.
Take this shovel and do what I tell you. Got a look on his face. And I also like the scene where this woman is saying, "We need you to step aside," and he gets this look on his face like, "Huh? What?" Like his face is just kind of
just incredulous and sarcastic and a little sassy and snarky, and also step aside, or have you seen me?
Yeah, he
do you have eyeballs, ma'am?
His eyes show confusion and anxiety, like, no, I'm not stepping aside. You're making a mistake. But his mouth kind of quirks up in this little like, it's totally crazy.
It is.
And it kind of reminds me, I don't know if you picked this up from Mess Mickelson and his micro expressions.
Yes, he does that.
It's really great. I'm already.
And he says, I could walk out into the street and convince anyone.
Make people believe.
Thank you. That's the line.
Yes.
Make people believe.
And I'm just like, I believe.
Yep.
I believe.
Yes. Yeah. It's
apparently Eddie's character, or Aaron Paul's character Eddie, is trying to do a little sneaky. He's trying to investigate his own movement and figure out what is going on.
Yeah.
And part of that involves investigating Cal, who is a snaky snake, I believe.
Sneaky snake.
He's a sneaky snake, and at one point, Aaron Paul's. I've got to remember to call him Eddie. Anyway, Eddie is going into the room to basically meet with a former member of the movement, who's got some horror stories to tell. But his wife, Sarah, is following him and believes that he's having an affair, and Eddie, rather than tell her, no, I was trying to, investigate this movement that you love and is a huge part of who you are. Instead, he just says, yes, I was having an affair.
Right.
And
because that's the lesser of the two evils.
Yes. He knows that. He knows that which would be the greater
She would
betrayal.
forgive him for cheating on her before she'd forgive him for investigating or doubting the movement.
Yes, exactly. And apparently he's basically punished for it. He has to go in for realignment, which is kind of a terrifying idea, that basically to be tortured for an extended period of time in this creepy room. And he does all this because he loves his wife, It's just like she did this to him, so it's a very complicated relationship, I can tell already, and she's clearly a little bit hung up on Cal.
Infatuated.
Yeah, just a little hung up on him. And so
she has eyes only for him.
Yes, you can see how maybe Eddie probably should get the hell out of all of that as soon as possible.
But he has his children, and I think he genuinely loves her.
Yes, I mean, yes.
He really, really loves her.
Yeah. Wow.
He says one of his lines in the trailer. I need you to know you mean everything to me. So yeah. This is going to be quite exciting, and I can't wait for it. I think, yeah.
Same.
So I think we're going to wrap it up now. And,
we've been rambling for some time now.
Yeah. Our podcasts, we're going to keep them to about an hour. So do you have any final thoughts?
Just that I can't wait until I have something actually concrete and based to say, We
will continue to speculate up a storm with each episode.
Yes.
However, next episode we will have quite a bit more to work with.
Yeah, we'll have some evidence. For
At least 2 hours worth of, of conversation. So thank you so much for joining us. Please do subscribe and follow us on Twitter. And we will
swallowed in their coats with scarves of red tied round their throats to keep their little heads from falling in the snow. And I turn round and there you go, and Michael, you would fall and turn the white snow red as strawberry.